A very warm welcome to the World of Lord Russell podcast talk show. And today's show is The Voice of Darts, which captures the life of an English darts referee who works for the Professional Darts Corporation and Sky Sports. He is also known as The Voice, due to his unique style of calling and his shouty voice. Yes, folks, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome on the show Russ Bray. Welcome to the show, Russ.
Thanks, Russ. It's lovely to be on the show, mate. It's, an absolute pleasure.
Fantastic. And it's an honour for me to have you on here too. It's going to be a great show, I know. They always are usually. But we'll start from the beginning, Russ. You grew up in South Ockenden, I believe, and used to take the Green Line bus to Upton Park as a kid. So obviously a big Hammers fan. So who was your favourite Hammer as a boy, Russ? I think I know.
Oh, goodness. I mean, yeah, well, there was three of them. Obviously, West Ham won the World Cup, didn't they?
They did.
It's, had to be probably more my page and Jeff first. They were the boys. And just carrying on just slightly on that with Billy Bonds was a great favourite of mine as well.
Oh, Billy Bonds was a fantastic player. I mean, he was playing for West Ham at 40, wasn't he?
Yes, yeah, it was still going then.
He was.
And funny enough, a mate of mine that was at school, Jeff Pike, we was at school together.
Yes.
He ended up playing for the Hammers, played lots of games for the Hammers, Fiker, So, no, I've been Hammers fan from a kid, and it's, like I say, the Green Line bus used to take us straight outside the Boleyn, literally.
Nice.
There's a pub there, so we just walk into the ground, go and watch whatever match it was, and then it was funny because one week it was West Ham, and the following week it was Spurs. But my mate who used to come with me, little Graham Clark, he was a Spurs fan, I was a West Ham fan, and of course, generally, one team was at home, one was away.
Yes.
So the following week, I'd probably go to White Lane, as it was then, go to White Lane, watch the match there, and the following week was at the Hammers. So it used to love the football stadium.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you never got to meet, did you? You never got to meet the great Bobby Moore. I mean, that would have been a fantastic thing to have done. I think you didn't.
Sadly,
yeah. I think we all was football fans.
I met mine, Billy Ball. Yeah, I met the other guys, but I never met. Unfortunately, I never met Bobby. Passed way too early.
He did indeed. It was a huge shame, wasn't it? A huge shame.
Absolutely.
But you started refereeing darts in 1993, I understand. And like many of today's top referees, this happened purely by accident when the regular referee did not show up during a county match, but a match in which you were also playing in, Russ, as well. I mean, this is extraordinary. So please tell us more.
Well, I played county darts for Hertfordshire, and as I say, the stage is set up like you would see on TV. So you've got two markers and you've got a referee calling on the microphone.
Yes.
And the referee, Steve Smiley, never turned up. And so I was playing, I don't know, about game 7 or 8 or something like that. And I turned and said, well, look, I'll call a couple of games to help out, because they needed a referee. And I called a couple of games and really, really enjoyed it. Went on and played my game. And then the following month, the following home game, Steve Smiley never turned up again.
Wow.
So I helped out again. And then I called on the Saturday, which was the B team, called on the Saturday nearly, I don't know, half the matches. Because, as I say, wasn't there for that. I was playing on the Sunday, so I only called a few, and other people stepped in. Then it ended up, I become the county caller with a guy called Trevor Wood. He was the main man. But I became a county caller with him. You had the big split in darts then in 93, 92, 93, 94, when the BDO split with the PD, when the BDO and the WDC, as it was then, were formed and they'd split.
Yes.
And I was asked then by the PDC, as they are now, was I interested in being a reserve referee for them? Bearing in mind at that given time, you got banned from every type of dart that you could play. I couldn't even play in my local pub on a Monday night because I would be involved with the PDC. The thing is, Russ, I'm not a political person. I paid to play my sport, and as I didn't really want to be dictated to, and I took up the PDC offer of going as a reserve referee. So I went to Blackpool in 1996. I'm going on a couple of years now. In 96, I went to Blackpool, called it the World Match Play as a trial more than anything else. And Tommy Cox, God rest his soul, one of the founder members of the PDC, he walked up. I walked on the stage. He walked up and he says, "We're not having a reserve referee." I thought, "Oh, load it." He said, "We're having 3 referees. Welcome to the PDC." And that's how and that's how my career kicked in.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, all because the county referee didn't turn up one day. You took the reins and bingo. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? I mean, sometimes it's just about being in the right place at the right time, and you surely were, Russ. There's no doubt about that.
I have said that 1,000,001 times, Russ.
I'm sure you have.
Right time, and a big thanks for Steve Smiley. And I've
Absolutely.
still never seen him since. So I don't know if he disappeared.
Well, fantastic. I mean, you started as a caller at the PDC World Darts Championships, held originally, of course, at the Circus Tavern in 1997, which was a great darts arena. I haven't been there myself. It's amazing. And you've been calling at the PDC World Darts Championships ever since, for some 27 times now, 27 years. The 1997 World Championships, though, was a special one in many ways. The story of 1997 is a story of our great friend, of course, the late Eric Bristow, MBE, the former 5 times world champion, who suddenly, going back in 1997, suddenly got back in shape. Phil Taylor's discoverer has had, at the time, years of dartitis. But in 1997, the hero of darts in England had returned for one last year in the spotlights. I mean, please tell us more, Russ. I mean, who was the caller for the semi-final match between Eric Bristow and Phil Taylor?
I think it was Bruce Spenley. I'm not sure. It had only been either Bruce Spenley or Freddie Williams, but I think it was Bruce Spenley that actually called that semi-final with Eric and Phil.
Yes.
And what a semi-final! It was just fantastic. It was absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, because Eric pushed Phil all the way, didn't he? It was a close run thing.
Didn't he?
I seem to remember.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well, that was his last hurrah, and of course. Yeah, what matches did you do at the 1997 World Championships? If you can remember that, it's quite a few years ago.
I can remember. I think I can remember the very first game that I called there was Dave Askew playing Mick Manning. That was the very first game I ever called. I was so nervous. I had my heart thumping. I could hear it thumping in my ears. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But that was the very first game I ever called. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Russ. I don't remember what I had for me breakfast yesterday. To remember, other games in there, unless they're really significant.
Yes.
It's, there are certain games I can remember, which I'm sure we'll touch later on. But,
yes.
Above and beyond that, I was probably so nervous that, I've got it recorded. My mum, bless her, she used to record all the games. So it'll be on DVD somewhere.
Oh, bound to be.
It'll be on a VHS. It'll be on.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little piece on Eric there as well. Backed up by the roaring crowds at the Circus Tavern. I mean, Eric Bristow fights his way past Bob Anderson, Alan Warriner to the semi-finals, where he, for the last time, will compete against Phil Taylor in one of the most spectacular matches ever seen in the World Championships, where Eric Bristow pushed Phil Taylor, as you've already said, to his limits, but Phil Taylor comes out 5-4 winner. I mean, this is the last time we see Eric in the spotlights of a major tournament, but Eric said goodbye in style, didn't he? True Eric Bristow tradition. Never any doubt.
Absolutely. I mean, he was Mr. Darts, and that is it. And I miss him a lot. As I say, I'm working with Keith Deller tonight, and it used to be me, Keith, and Eric. We've done loads and loads of corporate work together all over the place. And Eric was a very, very close, very, very good friend. We even went to Tenerife together, where we played a bit of golf out there on holiday.
Yes.
We went to Prague, as a holiday, as opposed to just darts and things like that. So yeah, he was an absolute great mate. And
he was indeed.
He was at the darts when he crashed down with a heart attack. So I think he lived his life to the full. Let's put it that way.
He certainly did, and he walked at the end of the darts, wasn't he? Walking across the car park outside, and fell over.
The Echo Arena in Liverpool. Yeah.
That was sad.
Was him done, but as I say, I don't think he'd have complained about his lifestyle or what he'd done. I mean, he enjoyed his Guinness, he enjoyed his curries, and he enjoyed his darts, and that's exactly what he was doing right to the very end. So,
bless him.
And funny enough, Russ, we had a little. Indeed, me and Eric had a little pact. Whoever went first, because he's exactly 2 months older than me, Eric.
Right.
Whoever went first, the other didn't go to the funeral in black.
Oh, that's
So I
good.
went to Eric's funeral in a purple tonic suit. Yeah. So it was all
Ah.
amazing. All amazing. Huh?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, any funeral I go to, I don't go to many, so I don't like them, to be honest. I would always wear colourful clothes, you know. I never go in black.
Yeah.
Never. Never. Always
I
colourful.
celebrate a life, not a death.
Absolutely
Celebrate their
right.
life, not a death. Yeah.
Absolutely right. I mean, what PDC World Championship final do you remember the most, apart from 1997, Russ, and why? One that you've been in and the memories you have.
Probably the greatest one ever is 2007, which was the very last, for lots of reasons actually, it was the very last one at the Circus Tavern.
Yes.
That was because the following year we went to the Alley Palace. So it was the very last one at the Circus Tavern. Johnny had just come over from the BDO. He was playing field and final, and it went down to the very last sudden death leg.
Wow.
They both threw for the bullseye, which Barney won. During that last leg, Phil hit a 180. Barney followed it, and then eventually beat Phil hitting double top to win the actual match, which was just an out-and-out unbelievable classic. Probably one of the most funny enough, Eric and Keats.
Yes.
Probably one of the very most talked about finals ever, because it was just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So it's a great game, darts, isn't it? I remember being at the semi-finals with Keith a few years ago now, probably about 2016, 15, forget which. And Adrian Lewis was playing Barney in the semi-finals, and I was there. And I went into the toilets at the players' bar. I went to the toilets, and Barney came out of one of the traps, and he went out, looked at me, smiled, and never washed his hands.
Yeah.
So when I went out, of course, they went up and shook hands with Adrian Lewis. And I met up with Adrian after, and I said to him, "Oh, by the way, when you shook hands with Barney," I said, before the game started, he'd been in the toilet and hadn't washed his hands. And he went, "What?" I said, "Yeah, quite a funny story, really." Yeah. Probably does it all the time.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I don't suppose I want to get anything on them, you know. If they're throwing it,
yeah.
You should wash it. You should wash it.
Yes, of course. But I suspect he did it on purpose, Barney. Just a bit of fun, you know.
Maybe.
But Adrian won anyway. I think it was 7-4 or something like that. So he got to the final.
Yeah.
So that's all good stuff. I mean, the World Match Play Darts Championships, of course, at the Winter Gardens in Blackpool started in 1994. And you were approached by the newly formed PDC to work alongside legendary officials Bruce Spendley and Freddie Williams as one of the tournament's callers for the 1996 World Match Play. I mean, you've been one of the tournament's official callers ever since. So again, your 20th appearance being this year in 2023. It's incredible. That's some achievement too, Russ, isn't it? You know, you're always there. As one of the callers at these major tournaments.
Yeah.
What do you remember?
I've got the best seat in the house, mate, Russ.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you've got. I'm jealous when I ever see you watching you do these massive tournaments. You know, I'm jealous. I wish it could be me up there. I really do. But you know, again, that's a fantastic record, isn't it? You obviously love the tournament.
To me, it's the best tournament.
Yes, players all say that.
Yeah, the reason I say that, one, it's July, it's summertime, everyone's happy, and it's a great feel.
Yeah.
Two, you're on the seaside in Blackpool. It's it's its own unique place.
Yes.
And three, they generally tend to be genuine dart fans there that will go to the Winter Garden and watch the darts. And the other big factor from my perspective, which I think makes it the fairest, is its legs and not sets.
Yes.
You can actually win more sets and lose more legs and win it set. But in match play, it's leg on leg. So, you know, you've got a genuine winner. He had beaten you, 10-11 or something like that.
Yes.
So that's why I find that one the best tournament.
Yeah, it's a good setup, isn't it? It's a good setup. I've yet to go, actually. I've got to get it on my list. So I'll be after some tickets. But yeah, I've got to go.
Well, see what I'm going to do for you, Russ. I'll see what I'm going to do for you.
Oh, thanks, Russ. I appreciate it. I would be lovely to go out to Blackpool anyway and go and watch that. It was a wonderful tournament. I mean, also you were
No,
the referee for the first 9-darter by Phil Taylor at the 2002 World Match Play against Chris Mason. I mean, this was also the first PDC 9-darter and the first on Sky Sports TV as well. I mean, how did it feel to be part of this history-making 9-darter? I mean, had you rehearsed, for example, your voice and call style just in case it did happen?
Nothing. You don't know when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Like I say, within the PDC,
Yes.
there had not been a 9-darter. And just a week before that, Sean Greatbatch hit a 9-darter in Holland, which was televised live. So it wasn't the first live 9-darter, but it was the first live on our TVs, you know, on British TV and Sky and everything, and within the PDC. The very first one was actually done by Freddie Williams with John Lowe.
John Lowe,
funny enough, playing Kiki Della. Yeah, when he played Kiki Della. And then Mike Fitzmaurice called one, and then a guy called Stevie Nichols called one, who now lives in Australia. He called the Sean Greatbatch one. So mine was actually the fourth one on TV, but the very first within the PVC and Sky. So it's my favourite little record. And I've done, I could know that. Now, I've done one the weekend, funny enough, with Scott Waits in Germany.
Ah, Scotty Waits, great fella.
Yeah, literally done one this weekend. But I'm the only ref that's called a 9-darter on TV in 4 different continents. And to me, when I was a kid, there was only 5: Europe, Asia, Africa, America, and Australia.
Yes.
The only place I haven't called a 9-darter on TV is in America. So,
well, that's got to happen, isn't it?
It's a lovely record to have. It's a tough one to beat as well.
Oh, it was a tough one to beat. That'll be down in the annals of records for a long, long time, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure your American dream will come about as well, Russ. You know, you get the continent in.
You just never know.
It's got to be done. I mean, you mentioned Sean Greatbatch there. You know, I knew Sean very well as well because he lived in Norfolk and sadly passed away a few years ago. And I last saw him, I think, at one of my Norwich Charity Darts Masters tournaments. I actually invited him as a guest. And it's great to catch up with him. We did talk about his 9-darter and so on. And it's so sad when he passed. Yeah. That was shocking. Only a young
time. So young as well. So young.
Sad. Another great guy gone, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, feel the pain.
Indeed. His mum was a great player.
Oh, right. Well, running the family then, obviously.
Well.
Wow.
Yeah, no. He was very player.
Yeah. Another sad day in darts, really, was another player passing. So, and we had another sad day, I think, this week, didn't we? Another player passed away, quite young as well.
Tim Green, young kid. He's only
30, wasn't he?
35. I called for him in the 35. Yeah, I called for him in the World Championships a good few years back, just in his 20s. And sadly, he got diabetes badly. And that got to him in the end. He ended up having both feet up, I think, and things like that.
Oh,
so, at 35, goodness me, it's a kid, still a baby, and it's life can be cruel, mate. Life can be cruel.
Oh, it certainly can. Yeah, it's your numbers up, your numbers up. We all know, you can't change life. You can't do anything differently to make things happen differently. It's just all mapped out for you, isn't it? I'm sure.
Well, they say that. I mean, I'm coming up with retirement age. Well, I am retirement. I'm not going to be able to. But the thing is, I'm still active. I'm still able to be able to do things. And I've still got a bucket list that I can do. And I want it so that, when I'm on my last legs, I don't want to say, I wished I'd done that when I was able to do it. The things you wish you could do that, it's impossible to do. But if I can do it, and that's what I'm striving to do now.
Oh,
enjoy
you've got
life,
to.
Mate.
Enjoy life. You can. And for me, I'm like you. I won't stop working. I won't retire. I'll still be working. A bit like Barry Hearn in his 80s now, working away. It keeps you going, doesn't it? Of
course it does. Keeps you young and fit, Russ. Keeps you young and fit, mate.
It certainly does. And I did speak with Barry Hearn a little while back, and he's looking possibly to come on the show, actually, at the end of the year. So we'll see.
Brilliant.
But I'll be in Thailand then. It will be. I'll be in Thailand with my girlfriend, so I'll be recording it from there. But that'll be
excellent.
Yeah, that'll be a great show, Barry Hearn.
No.
Yeah. I always remember when Barry first phoned me, actually, going back a few years ago. I've got to tell you it. I picked up the phone and said, "Is that Lord Russell?" in his usual voice. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Barry Hearn here."
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, dear, oh, dear. What a phone call. Interesting.
Great lad, great lad.
He is great, yeah.
Great lad.
I mean, Phil the Power Taylor has won the World Match Play Championship some 16 times. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? So what final do you have memories of refereeing at and calling at the World Match Play, Russ?
Well, we've obviously touched on the obvious, which is the 2002
Yes.
match play when I called the Nine Darter.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, again, one particular one that really comes to mind, that really stuck in my head, Big Cliff Lazarenko,
Oh,
Bob
big Cliff.
Anderson.
Yeah.
And and poor old Cliffy, his wife Carol wasn't feeling too clever, so his mind weren't really on the game. Bob Anderson beat Cliff, and we walked off the stage, and I had a great match with Cliff anyway. And I shook his hand when we got on stage. I said, "All right, Sonny, okay." He said to me, "Mate, I think I'm gonna bubble." You know, cry. And he got my head stuck right in his chest with his arm around me like that, and he sobbed his little eye out. He really did.
Oh,
And
bless him.
he went home and went home to his missus.
Ah.
It's funny because it wasn't even actually a dart throwing thing that I can remember, you know.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Another thing is a great thing with Keith Dell, fan Richie Burnett.
Yes.
And Keith ended up, he's gone bang, 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 hit a great spot. And he looked around at me, he says, "He's gone. I've got him." I've gone, "Keith, you require 144. He went bang, bang, bang. Walked up, shook his hand, turned around to me and said, "Yeah, told you. That's exactly what was happening." And that's exactly what happened, you know.
What a great story.
You get fantastic memories and things like that. You know? Yeah, you know, great little thing. Not necessarily, you know, a big score or 1-8 or a shot out, but little different anecdotes like that is one of the different things people say to you. It's like everybody's happy at the match play. Everybody's bouncing at the match play. You know,
Seems to
because
be a
like
happy
I
place.
said earlier on, you know, summertime. Oh, it really is. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful setting. Come as my guest next year, 2002.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to go. I'd like to attend because it'd be great. Meet up with the guys as well. Have some fun. Why not? You know,
Exactly.
good stuff, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned Bob Anderson there as well. I mean, he's a great guy, Bob Anderson. I mean, is it true that he used to ride on his horse into the Circus Tavern before his matches, or was that just a bit of a ruse?
No. They brought a horse in.
Ah,
He didn't ride it.
Fantastic.
To be honest with you, he's scared of horses.
Yeah, oh no, he probably is. The limestone cowboy.
That's it. But what they done was they actually walked this horse in through the auditorium. Bearing in mind, that is in days when, you know, there was a lot of drink about. People still smoked in there. You imagine someone with a cigarette butt on its butt, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Absolute. You couldn't do it today.
No, safety would go mad.
But yeah, they actually walked the whole team through, but he never actually rode it. No.
Oh, that's okay. I did think he had, but no, I thought that's a bit strange actually. But even bringing a horse in is a funny thing, isn't it? Let's be honest, for reasons. But all good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, the good old Circus Tavern, marvelous. What a great venue. In fact, you've been one of the official PDC callers now at 57 tournaments around the world. Apart from the World Championships and the World Match Play, which we've just discussed, some of the eye-catching tournaments include the Grand Slam of Darts 15 times, PDC World Cup 11 times, Players' Championship Finals 15 times, Premier League 19 times, World Grand Prix 21 times, UK Open 21 times, and of course the European Championships 12 times, and of course many other tournaments too. This is incredible, isn't it, Russ? Like, what great memories do you have from these tournaments, even the smaller ones?
Well, the thing is, the beauty of most of those things is, or a lot of the things I do now, if I'm being honest, is I'm the I do the Asian tour.
Yes.
So when you were talking about Thailand, I was in Thailand a few months ago.
Nice.
So I go out and do the whole of Asia.
Yes.
All what happens out there. So I get to see the up and coming Asian dart players. I do the World Series, so I go to Australia. My last trip to Australia in August was my 40th. Horror. I've been to Australia, right? So I've got 1,000,001 different memories of 1,000,001 places of all those tournaments there that you mentioned there. They are great tournaments because I was there at their infancy when they very first started.
Yes.
UK Open, when we've done our first UK Opens, when we've done our first Premier Leagues, and how things have changed now is the darts themselves in depth have got so much better.
Yes.
So you don't have. Phil dominated for years.
Oh, he did.
But now to actually dominate would be a very, very difficult thing to do because, the world number 32 could win the tournament. Whereas in them days, the world 32 couldn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's how much bigger, better it's got. So it's quite an amazing thing that's happened over the years. And me seeing all these, like you said, say 21 and UK, whatever it is, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's what I've really noticed the most coming up over all them years. Not so much the tournaments themselves or things within the tournaments, but the development of the game and how much bigger and better it's got. And believe you me, Russ, it's still riding the crest of a wave and it's tearing along like there's no tomorrow.
Oh,
it is just an amazing ride that we're all on. And that will stem from early dawn.
Of course, yeah. And those top 32 players, as you say, quite rightly say, they're all capable of doing averages of well over 100, aren't they?
Oh, well, they all do.
Yes.
And you've got kids there, 16, 15 years of age, hitting 9 darts.
Yeah.
He's a young lad, Luke. He seems to be the little sensation at the moment. Little sensation, he's got a full beard. But he seems to be the sensation at the minute. He's an amazing, amazing dart player. There's a Dutch guy who's going to be playing in the youth final. And his name is Gian Van Veen. Terrific dart players. These kids are amazing. And they're the ones that, you hoped from years ago that you was going to see come through.
Yes.
But they are now because we've got a development tour, they've got a challenge tour. So there's a lot of tournaments for them to come through on.
Yeah.
And all stemming from, my one UK Open, UK Open number 1, where it's all started from there, and that's the sort of memories I've got now of what we have now to what we had then.
Absolutely.
And the standard rush is amazing.
It is very, very high, isn't there? Very, very high. There's a bit of background noise behind you somewhere from the venue you're at. So. Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
You've actually been the caller of 17 times 9 darters. The first one being Phil Taylor's, we've already talked about in 2002. And the last one with Gerwyn Price in 2022. So you must be really well versed now in your celebrity call, Russ. If I take my speakers off, can you do it?
What, 180?
Yeah.
Hang on. 180.
Brilliant. That is the famous.
For a night, you need a couple of them.
Yeah, you do. That's the famous Russ Bray call. And when you've got your microphone in your hand, it just reverberates around, doesn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. I think Keith told me one. He did, actually. He said you were doing a show at Ipswich Town Football Club and you broke the speakers.
Yeah. Me and Keith have got, Keith, absolute, Ipswich fan through.
Yeah.
I've got an affinity with Ipswich because my dad was actually born in Bury St Edmunds.
Right,
so
just down the
he
road.
was an Ipswich fan, and I was born in Essex. Yeah, literally. I was born in Essex, right next to the West Ham ground. So, that's where our difference was. But we've gone down to Ipswich, and I go down to Ipswich. I go down to town a lot with Keith. We go and a lot of matching.
Yeah.
And this particular evening, on the Tuesday evening, we've gone down there and we're being interviewed on the pitch before the match. And the young fella interviewing us said, "So, Russ, would you mind doing a 180?" I said, "Yeah, of course I will." So, 180. All gone round the crowd. Hey, lovely. Didn't think no more of it. 2 or 3 weeks later, me and Keith back up the town on the evening match, back on the pitch being interviewed, and the guy, blah, blah. He said, "Oh, Russ," he said, "would you be able to do a 180 for us?" He said, "But can you do it a lot quieter this time?" He said, "Because you busted 2 of our speakers last time." I come see their speakers.
Oh, that's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it did.
yeah, that's your voice, though, isn't it? You know, that's what makes it. So, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Cost me nothing to money, Russ.
That's just great, isn't it? It must. I blame the speakers. It must be Ipswich Town. Probably had some cheap speakers at the time. They're doing all right now, though.
They've completely revamped it all, and it looks amazing. The team's doing absolutely terrific with them.
They look like they're going to go up this year, don't they? Premier League.
I reckon they will. They will.
I think so.
They will. Yeah, definitely.
They'll definitely win the bragging rights for East Anglia. Norwich are not doing very well at all, so they're definitely going to win that.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, we've got that coming up, so that's great, isn't it? And obviously, Russ, you are also much sought after referee during darts demonstrations and clinics around the world as well. In fact, we first worked together in 2016 when I organised and promoted the Norwich Match Play Darts Championships at the Epic TV studios in Norwich. I mean, that was a great night. Also, Russ, with Peter Wright winning the final and a nice trophy too. You called well there. It was a big old crowd, wasn't it?
It was. I'll tell you what, it was a fabulous night.
Yeah,
it was a fabulous night. I didn't realise it was that long ago.
Yeah, 2016. So what's that? 7 years ago. Crikey!
Wow. Goodness me!
It feels like yesterday. Isn't it? It is frightening.
I know. I'll have to come down to your next one.
Yeah, if I, I'm not doing them at the moment. I think it's very hard to sell tickets. With the way the economies are, people haven't got any money, have they? And it's difficult. But
COVID has knocked everything back a lot.
It has.
COVID dropped an awful thing. It's all the prices have gone up on everything, and
yes,
and like I say, a lot of people are out of work, and that it's made it tough.
Recently, I think the end of last year, beginning of this year, I was looking to put on a small little darts gig at Kingsley Town Football Club. And of course, yourself and Keith were involved. And the club, they couldn't sell tickets. Nobody wanted to buy tickets. It's just incredible. And I just felt then the economy really has shown massive problems at that level of that level of demonstrations, competitions.
Exactly right. Sadly.
Well, you never know. It might come back.
What goes around comes around. So,
it does.
So hopefully, fingers crossed.
You never know. I might get another big one in one day. We'll see what happens. Hey. I do like those big ones. They were fun.
Good fun.
We've mentioned this a little bit already, but what's the main difference now between now and when you first started refereeing? Not so much about the players scoring over 100 averages, but in terms of the refereeing techniques, what's the main difference now? Do you think?
Well, you've got a lot. Yeah, well, you've got a lot of youngsters coming in, but the beauty about being a referee is I tried to make it different. I'm different anyway because my voice is different, so that already got me noticed anyway. But what I tried to do, when Bruce and Freddie used to wear jacket and trousers, I wore a suit.
Yes.
So I was different.
Yes.
Then they wear a suit, so I wore jacket and trousers. I then wore a mandarin collared shirt where you don't wear a tie. Ref on the stage, no tie. Goodness me. So I tried to change everything. The beauty you've got now is you've got a lot of youngsters coming through. Brilliant refs, brilliant counters, but they are individuals. And that is the big thing from my perspective, from the referee perspective. Our markers now are absolutely superb. They just do not make mistakes. They are that good.
Incredible.
That professional. And that's what the PDC have made the darts now. They've made it so that when you do go to work, you have a professional person stood up on that stage, calling the game from the blow, be it the referee or the markers. And obviously the offstage crew. The offstage crew now have got everything set up and all done. You've got better amplification. Certainly, that venues, the different venues that we go to. When I first started UK Opens, we was doing them out of pubs.
Yeah.
Then it went to clubs, and now we have the big tournament at Minehead now. And it's just
right.
The whole concept has just got better and better, and a whole lot more professional.
And you've got to say, Barry Hearn really has just driven most of that, hasn't he? Let's be honest. He's a stickler, isn't he, for that kind of activity, and quite rightly so too. He's a top man, really. When it comes to that.
Definitely. Well, Tommy Cox, Dick Alex, and John Markovich, they're the ones that really made the split in the darts back in the early 90s.
Yes.
And to be fair, Dick and Tommy took it as far as they really could go. with their expertise. Hence, they then spoke with Barry Metron. With Barry's contacts and with his TV contracts that he knows this, and there probably isn't anybody that Barry doesn't know. Barry sort of, you know what Barry's like. If he can smell a dollar, he'll make two. That's right. How the guy works, and that's exactly what he saw with the darts, and that's exactly what he's still doing now. And it's amazing how, honestly, I say, it got bigger and better and bigger and better, and definitely. Still doing it, and still doing it. You know, we've seen the loss of the BDO now because they didn't keep up, which is something that you need to do. And you've got to keep up the changes in this type of game, otherwise you will fall by the wayside, and that's exactly what happened. And the BBC is still belting along that track, you you just don't see no end to it at the moment. And it gives everybody a great chance. Sorry, man. It gives everybody a great chance to become a millionaire. You know, our top dart players now are millionaires. Yes. You know, and it's, you know, you can win nearly £1 million over 2 years.
Yes.
Oh, come on, that's amazing.
No,
and you haven't got to go to.
No, you know, so it says an awful lot, doesn't it? Really,
it does.
And principally driven by Barry Hearn, as you say, quite rightly, with his contacts, his knowledge, his contracts. And also, I know when Barry first phoned me going back, and I had that phone call, and it's all to do with the World Legends match players I was putting on championships, which I did, which was a great tournament. And I then found out, he said to me, Barry said to me, "You can phone me any time now, Russell." He said, Lord Russell, he says, "You got my phone number?" And I have, and I call him. It's great. He said, "Anytime." Yep. When I said that to, I forget who it was now. It might have been Phil Taylor's manager, Bob Glenn. He said, "Yes, what you remember, Russell, is that Barry Hearn never sleeps. He's awake all the time, 24/7." And I thought, wow, what a man! It's obviously keeping him alive, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, I could bring Barry now and say, "Barry, who's the world number 33?"
And he'd know.
Oh yeah, he'd tell you exactly who it was and how much he earned.
Incredible.
You know, he is a workaholic. He really is the sort of guy that if he stopped working, then bang, he wouldn't last long, because he needs to be doing something.
That's why I'm following that antic myself. I'm not going to retire. You know, I'm going to keep going because why not? I enjoy doing what I do. It's fun, and
exactly.
Well,
I'll get my old age pension now, and like I say, I'm not. I'm winding down, but I won't be packing up. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I don't blame you. Keep going. Keep going.
I will be, mate. I will.
Going. You've got to. Well, my last podcast show I had was with Jimmy Cricket. Now, he's brilliant.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah. And he's in his 80s now, and he's still active, still at it. I mean, it's great, isn't it? So
isn't it just?
He was great on the podcast as well. You know, he's hilarious. I understand too that you're also a Guinness World Record holder, a world record created on the North Pier in Blackpool. I mean, tell us more about this exciting addition to your life. That's a sub story, isn't it?
Yeah, we all got asked to go there. Well, I say we all. There was me, Adrian Gray. It was James Wade. There's quite a Steve Beaton. There's quite a few of us had to go down there and do this promo for the Guinness Book of Records. I was basically there to be a ref as opposed to anything else.
Yeah.
But they give me a set of darts, and we had to throw for the bullseye from 10 foot. Now, it was blowing an absolute hoolie that day, as windy as they come. And my the fourth time, I threw 3. Then I went for my next 3, and on my first start, my next 3, I hit the ball straight in the middle. Now, because it's televised, and it was the first time it was done, it became a Guinness Book of Records. And that's what they did. They put me in the Guinness Book. It's been done since. Freddie Flintoff done me on it, on doing a thing for children in need, I think. So I've heard. But I don't know for 100% sure. But, yeah, it's nice to have known that at one time I was a Guinness Book of Record holder.
You're still in there, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's an honour. It's a little bit of a difference. I think different in life, you know, that's great to have, isn't it? You know, wonderful little piece to the, to your personality, your culture, and what you do.
Exactly. Writing.
Absolutely. And besides working for the PDC, you also do voiceovers and commercials. This I can imagine is very lucrative and enjoyable, as your voice obviously is very distinctive and very much the Russ Bray growl. What voiceovers and commercials have you done?
Well, the biggest one was McCoy's Crisps advert that ran for nearly, goodness me, 3 years, I think. Something when the guy gets sucked up the tube and all the rest of it. No, me and Crisps, that was my advert. I've done Feasters Burgers. Goodness me, I've done a voiceover for BBC programmes. I've been on EastEnders and things like that. Poor dude was. It's just million and one voiceover. You used to have Nuts TV, which was from the Nuts magazine. Used to have Nuts TV. So I was in the studio 3 times a week doing the bumpers and buffers for that.
Wow.
Oh dear. Lenny McLean's film, you know, lot of stuff. It's great fun to do. I really do enjoy doing voices. One time I'd done an animation, animated cartoon where I was the voice of Father Swan, who was very, very regal. And then you're the voice of Daddy Mouse. It's all sort of bouncy and run about it, you know. So, but the best one I ever done was a children's CD. And it was called The Land of Sometimes.
Wow, brilliant. And
it's now where I actually sing on it as opposed to, I know, crazy. But what I've done, or going to do, we're waiting to go in the studio, is making an animated film.
Okay.
But instead of the voice people they had on the CD, they've only kept 2 of us. That's Ruby Turner as a singer, and myself. But the other celebrities that are going to do the voices are Ewan McGregor, Bonham Carter, David Walliams, Terry Jones from Monty Python, and myself. You know what I mean? And it's just
some big names there.
Incredible. Yeah, not all. If you look on IMDb, International Movie Database, and type in there The Land of Sometimes, it'll show you all the cast and everything as he's going to be doing it. And to be amongst those sort of people, it's very, very special.
It is indeed. But how good is your singing voice, Russ?
Well, I've got this. When we was doing the stuff in the studio, the lady that done it, she turned around and said to me, right, okay, right, can you do this in a BBC News voice first? You know, that sort of thing. So you speak Edison, I said, hello there, I'm a River Slouchling. Then she said, okay, she said, can you do it in a gangstery way? I'm a River Slouchling, so she said, Russ, I'd like you to sing it. I said, excuse me, I don't even talk in tune, let alone sing. I said, so, but she sang it, I copied her singing, they loved it, and that's exactly how it turned out. And the CD is actually a very, very successful CD.
Oh, it's good though, isn't
it? The Land of Sometimes. If you've got young kids, it's beautiful. Done it.
Yeah, it was one of my questions I had down here as well, so we've already covered it, so I had to do that. That's okay. That's brilliant. It's just a nice natural conversation. This is how it should be. I mean, you also appeared as yourself as a darts announcer with the late and great Eric Bristow, of course, playing himself as the crafty Cockney in Heartlands, which was a film which was produced in 2002, but also some big names in Heartlands too, Russ. Michael Sheen, Jim Carter, Celia Imrie, if I pronounced her name right, Paul Shane, James Corden, to name just a few. I mean, Heartlands must have been a huge bit of fun to be involved with too. I mean,
absolutely amazing. I got a phone call, funny enough, from Miramax, the film company themselves. And they turned around and said, I think Tommy Cox had actually given him my number. Anyway, they rang me up and turned around and said, would I come down and be part of the film? As the referee on stage calling the darts and all the rest of it.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, of course I will. Look at that. Sorry, Russ. Here's my servant. Look, here's my servant for the day.
I can't see anybody. Oh, Keith. Hello, Keith. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Keith Della.
So they turned around and said, would I like to be in this? Would I be in the film? What would your fee and all the stuff like? So I told them all the bits and pieces. They said, lovely, we'll get a limo, pick you up. So I got picked up in a limo, taken to a hall in Lewisham, in South East London. And when we get in there, then you've got the likes of Jim Carter, who's the butler out of Downton Abbey.
Yes.
The big lad. Michael Sheen. So there was Jim Carter, Michael Sheen, Mark Addy, James Corden, and wasn't Sheila Miller, but someone else.
Yes.
Excuse me for forgetting. But we was all sitting down chatting and talking and having a meal when we got on a break, and they were so nice. I was on set for 4 days doing the filming, and it was.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. I can totally imagine. Yeah. What a life you've had.
Film as well. It's a great little film.
Yes, I can imagine.
Oh, it's incredible. I've been on things like, I've been on EastEnders. I've been on EastEnders a couple of times. Me and Phil Mitchell in the Square Drunk. I've been in Holby City where. Yeah, exactly. I've been on Holby City where Robert Powell brought me back to life, and then in the next episode I got open heart surgery.
Oh,
I was in a play. I was in a million and one things. I used to be with an extras agency.
Yes.
And when I used to go to them, one of the greatest one for me was I was in an episode of Not Going Out. Yeah. Tim Vine and Lee Mack. And I'm in the garage, stood there. I've got this bobblehead thing on a set of overalls with only background stuff. So you're just standing there. And Tim Vine came up to me. He said, "Excuse me, but do you do the darts?" I said, "Yeah, I do." Now, I didn't realise Tim Vine is an absolute dart nut. He loves darts inside out. Yeah. So I said, "Yeah, I do." And we got chatting and talking, exchanged numbers. And he's become a really, really, really good friend these days. I mean, I speak with him an awful lot. He's always my guest at the World Championships on finals night. I used to come up with Lee Mack. He come up with his brother Jeremy, off a radio too a couple of times. Absolutely beautiful. You know what I mean? It's great fun. It's when they say you get starstruck, I still do with these type of people because they're so. But when you get to know them, they're so nice. They say don't meet your heroes, but please do meet your heroes because they are that good.
They are. You're quite right. And it's quite nicely said too, Russ, I have to say. You do through life meet some great people, don't you? I've been lucky to meet some great people as well, including yourself, Russ, of course. Many, many great people.
Likewise, the other way. Thank you.
And I intend for that to continue as well. I really do. I mean, talk about EastEnders. I had Tom Watt on the show a little while back, former Lofty. So a bit of an EastEnders link too. So,
I remember Lofty.
Brilliant. He's got a nice fella, Tom Watt, too. Loves his football. Yeah, he loves it. Bit of an Arsenal man, isn't he, Tom?
He is. I'm trying Perry. Can't think his last name from EastEnders. He's a West Ham boy through and through. You see him up at the Hammers with Ray Winston. You see him up there a lot. Yeah, so they're big. Yeah, they're sort of big actors that are very, very, very into the Hammers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why a lot of them love football, don't they? It's a great sport, isn't it? I mean, talk about sports as well, different sports. In the last few years, you've also been appearing as an announcer at boxing. I mean, have you had any big or indeed special boxing bouts to announce, Russ?
Oh, Jesus, yeah. I've done 7 world title fights over in Germany.
Wow, that's great, isn't it?
Robert Stieglitz, Arthur Abrams. Yeah, absolutely amazing. That was so. All they done was flew me out. I done the main event and flew home again. I didn't do any of the undercut. It was honestly, it was unbelievable. But great experience, great thing to do. And as I say, they were sort of big German fighters at the time. And also one of our boys came over, Nathan Cleverly. Right. He came over and what a great fight he had out there. And ended up winning the title, and it was great. The German brand. So it's brilliant. Great thing to do. And I'll tell you what, the crowd were immense. They were immense. You can see them on YouTube and things like that.
Yes,
it was immense. It's out as well.
I mean, I can imagine actually at boxing events because it's always a great arena, isn't it, with superb speakers around, and obviously you get a good microphone. Your voice would have bounced around those walls nicely, I could imagine.
Well,
actually, more so than darts, quite possibly so. But
darts just goes out. That goes all the way round.
It does.
It's great. It was great.
Great experience. You're still going to continue with the boxing?
Well, the thing is, the TV company that dealt with it lost the contract for the boxing altogether. Yeah, they lost the contract. So the boxing went on to another TV company who already had their announcers. So, so I've done 7 fights out there, and
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I enjoyed it. I'd do it again if I was asked.
It's another string to your bow. It's on your CV now, isn't it? Absolutely. That's great stuff. I mean, away from the hockey, you live on a farm with your wife in Cambridgeshire, where you spend your time mucking out the stables, or on a nearby golf course where you play a round of golf with your great friend, who we've just seen, of course, our friend, of course, the 1983 world professional darts champion, Keith Deller. Yeah. So some great relaxing moments in life too, Russ. I mean, if Keith's still there, you might want to say hello again. But
yeah, sure. But it's I've moved from the farm now.
Oh, you have?
You know, downsized yet. Me and the wife have gone to a bungalow now, nice little bungalow. It's easy to manage.
Yes.
Plus, I'm away, 250, 300 days a year. 2019, pre-COVID, I was in a hotel room for 300 nights.
Yes.
Be it here or abroad. And to manage the farm was a nightmare. It sit on lawnmower used to take me 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Just to cut the grass, let alone then string bits and pieces.
Oh, I know you too well.
And in all honesty, I just didn't have the time. So we're downside there. We've gone into a bungalow. It's beautiful. I've got a garden takes about 20 minutes to walk it around with half a mower. Job done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, get your life back.
A lot more simpler. What's this?
Yes.
And chilling out and relaxing. And when you say about golf, as I say, me and Delboy, we play a lot of golf together. I'm also with Wayne Mardle as well. I play a lot with Wayne. He'll ring me up and we'll meet up halfway, have a round of golf, have a bite to eat. He'll go home, I'll go home. You know what I mean? So it's it's lovely. It's lovely. That's one sport that I do really, really enjoy.
Absolutely right. I quite agree with you completely. Is Keith still there? Is he still in the room?
He is. Do you want a word?
Have a quick hello to Keith. Why not, Mr. Deller?
Would you mind? Give me a minute, mate, please. He said he's talking about Norwich. You can probably hear him. Right?
I can hear him. Yeah, Ipswich are doing well, so I won't Nicky take at all. But they're looking like they're going to go up, as you said earlier on. So, hi, Keith. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, I won't mention Norwich City. I mean, you boys down at Ipswich are doing very well. You've got a great side, haven't you, there now? And I think you're going to get promoted, aren't you, to the Premier League, from what I can see?
Don't know. I don't know how injured Burns got the other night. You know that when he fell against Wales, that fell on his shoulder, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
Not sure.
You've got a nice little squad. I think you're playing some great football there, so good luck. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Yeah, we are playing good football. We've got Rotherham on Friday. We're 2 miles down the road.
Oh, wow.
A corporate night. Yeah, we can't go, but
yeah, you can't go. Obviously, it's a shame, isn't it? But yeah, that's
keeping anyway.
Yeah, I'm very well, Keith.
Somewhere.
I'm very well. Yeah, I'm off to Thailand in December with my girlfriend, so we'll be disappearing. So that's it. So yeah, still very busy. Got lots of consulting work I do here, plus plus these shows, plus my little business I've got started. To trying to keep busy and active, as you do. You have to, don't you, really? So
that's it, my mate. That's it.
Keep the pennies coming in. I was saying to Russ earlier on, they're putting on these gigs these days. It's so hard, isn't it? Because no one wants to buy tickets, it seems, anymore. But
we had an evening with Barneveld. Couldn't sell ticket. We had one at a theatre. Aspinall against Rock. Yeah. 20 tickets sold, that was all.
Yeah, there they are. And, it sort of explains what happened at King's Lynn, didn't it, when I had both yourself and Russ to appear, and no one's interested. Just unbelievable. But you never know, it might come back. We'll see.
Never mind, mate. All right, mate, we'll take it easy.
Well, Andrew, I'll get you on the show as well, Keith, next year. I'm booked out now to the end of February. And I'll get you on the show, and we'll talk about your life in darts as well.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I'm only a grand for now. I'm cheaper than Russ.
Well, I got some snooker guys coming on the show too as well soon, so we're mixing up a little bit. So it's a nice show. Well, good to see you again.
Take care.
Enjoy your evening. See you later, mate. Take care. Bye. So, Russ, I also understand you also play the guitar in your spare time as well. And any notable tunes that you are an expert at playing these days?
Things like "Ain't No Sunshine." I like that. "Ain't No Sunshine" when she's gone. Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. A little bit of mixture of all sorts, Girl from Ipanema is quite a tricky movement on that. But what I tend to do, Russ, is I'll get home and my way of unwinding is if I've got a song that I like, I've got to know the song. If I don't read music or anything like that. If I don't know the song, I can't play it. But if it's a song I like, I go on the internet, see what the chords are for it, and then try and learn to play it.
Yes.
Things like Hotel California and something like that. Learn to play it, and then next thing I know, I've done 2-3 hours and I've wound down and I feel good. And that's what I like to do.
Yes.
That's what I like. That's why I mug about on a guitar. I'm not very good. I've got decent guitars, but I'm not very good. So I enjoy it.
As long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing, isn't it, really? So that's what it's all about in life. You know, enjoying the things you do. And I'm looking at the clock, and we've scraped up to an hour already, Russ. Time flies.
Yeah, have we really?
We have indeed, yeah. So, you know, as always, on the World of Lord Russell podcast talk show, you know, we could talk forever, Russ, as your life in dance and show business has provided so much enjoyment to so many people with your unique voice, of course, and calling style at major darts events around the world. So thank you, Russ, for coming onto the show and talking about your professional life on the professional darting stage as one of England's best-known darts referees with an incredible original style. It's been a huge pleasure as always. And as always, the pleasure is all mine. And of course, the show's audience when this podcast is released on the World of Lord Russell podcast talk show. Thank you, Russ. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you Russ Bray. A huge round of applause.
Really lovely.
Well, do stay on the show.
Thank you ever so much.
You're absolutely welcome, Russ. Do stay on for a few seconds and I'll just wrap up and we'll have a quick chat.
Okay, mate.
The next episode on the World of Lord Russell podcast talk show is The Hatter's Flying Wizard, where my special guest will be David Moss, the former professional footballer who carried out his mesmerising wizardry on the pitch for Luton Town Football Club, more fondly known as the Hatters. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the inside. So until then, it's au revoir from him and au revoir from me.